In this video, I will explore the evolutionary and psychological roots of the concept of Satan and examine why this figure resonates so universally in human consciousness. Modern religion often conflates the different aspects of Satan, merging masculine and feminine elements into a singular, predominantly masculine entity. I argue that this is an oversimplification and fails to capture the complexity of Satan as a psychological archetype, which combines both masculine and feminine dimensions of evil. To unpack this, we must first understand the concept of superconscious archetypes. These archetypes represent extremes of certain traits that do not exist as actual entities in nature, but serve as mental constructs, helping our brains classify behaviors and ideas along a spectrum. At the extreme end of this spectrum lie the archetypes like Satan, which embodies the maximum expression of evil. To fully grasp the essence of Satan, first we must explore the two Jungian archetypes, the Tyrannical Father and Baphomet, the trickster. The Tyrannical Father represents the dark side of masculinity, characterized by violence, control, and oppression. Conversely, Baphomet embodies the dark side of femininity, defined by manipulation, deception, and subversion. These archetypes are distinct yet complementary facets of evil. The Tyrannical Father archetype reflects the destructive potential of unchecked masculinity. It manifests through physical violence, domination, and cruelty, encompassing acts like infanticide, rape, murder, and torture. This archetype corresponds to individuals with antisocial personality disorder, who often exhibits traits like callousness, aggression, and lack of empathy. The tyrannical father could be considered the devil archetype, embodying raw, violent malevolence. Baphomet, on the other hand, represents the trickster archetype, embodying the shadow side of femininity. This archetype's traits are less physically violent, but equally destructive, manifesting through disgust, deception, greed, and undermining others. Baphomet's methods are rooted in psychological and social manipulation rather than physical force, reflecting strategies often attributed to individuals with borderline personality disorder. This archetype is closely related to the concept of Lucifer, the fallen angel whose rebellion relied on cunning and subterfuge. Satan, as traditionally understood, is a fusion of the tyrannical father and Baphomet archetypes with the masculine frame. This synthesis portrays Satan as an overtly violent and covertly manipulative, a being capable of inciting harm through both direct and indirect means. While this combination may simplify theological narratives, it overlooks the distinct ways in which evil manifests in its masculine and feminine forms. The conflation of these archetypes into a single male figure may stem from the cultural biases. Throughout history, the feminine aspect of evil has always been downplayed or misattributed. This could be due to the lack of the idealization of the Great Mother archetype, which makes it difficult for societies to reconcile the existence of both nurturing and destructive feminine traits. The divergence in male and female expressions of evil can be traced back to evolutionary pressures. Females, being the primary caregivers and protectors of offspring, are less likely to engage in direct physical confrontations that risk injury or harm to the group. Instead, female evil manifests through indirect strategies such as deception, manipulation, and social sabotage. These behaviors minimize physical risk while achieving dominance or revenge. Males, on the other hand, are evolutionarily equipped for physical confrontation. As a result, their dark archetypes are more likely to involve violence and physical domination, reflecting the tyrannical father archetype. This division of labor between genders in the expression of evil underscores the evolutionary origins of these archetypal distinctions. A more nuanced understanding of Satan would involve separating these two archetypes into their masculine and feminine components. Such an approach would deepen the insights into human behavior, motivations, and into the way individuals inflict harm on others. Recognizing Baphomet and the tyrannical father as distinct forces allows us to better address psychological and social dimensions of evil. Satan, while viewed through this lens, is not a Jungian archetype per se, but a cultural amalgamation of the two. It represents the ultimate embodiment of harm, whether through the cunning and deceit of Baphomet or the brutal oppression of the tyrannical father. Conclusion. In conclusion, Satan is best understood as a union between two Jungian archetypes, Baphomet representing the dark side of femininity and the tyrannical father representing the dark side of masculinity. Together, these archetypes illustrate the dual nature of evil rooted in both physical violence and psychological manipulation. By dissecting these two archetypes, we gain a clearer understanding of the concept of Satan and its relevance to human culture and psychology.